their head coach, Dino Babers, on set with us now. Coach, great to see you and great to talk with those guys. I mean, in today's college football world where everybody's transferring, you're doing all kinds of different things, there's so many options. To have that kind of talent back, those two, as well as Marlo and so many others, it's got to make you feel pretty good.
Really good, a fantastic leadership. That's a good core of guys, and that's going to be the stuff that makes you go, is your camaraderie, the culture that you have within your locker room, and we think we've got a good one.
Yeah.
You talk about people leaving, coming and going. Robert and I left. He stayed in the conference. For somebody who doesn't know, how does that work? Did you know where he was going, or how does that play out?
You know, Robert, one thing Robert and I is he's straight coming. He comes straight at you, let me know what was going on. I appreciated his honesty. He told me the situation, and it was crystal clear, and he did a fantastic job for us. If you asked me if he was going to come in 1 year and leave, would you have hired him? I'd have said, yeah, if I knew the job that he was going to do and the way he did the job. And he did a fantastic job. We wish him the best up there with NC State and the things that he's going to do, along with Tony White that went to Nebraska. But we feel really good with the person that's replacing him, Coach Beck. We think that our offense will be very similar to what it was, to keep the continuity for the quarterback. And then with the defense coordinator leaving, we brought in Rocky Long, who is the guy that taught the defensive coordinator the defense that he runs at Nebraska. So we felt like we've got continuity not only in the offensive side of the ball, but the defensive side of the ball. And when the young men know what they're doing, that normally gives you a fantastic chance to have a good season.
So you told him you could leave as long as you leave Jason for us.
Well, you know what? Watch this. Jason's his own man. He's allowed to go wherever in the heck he wants to go. We're glad he decided to stay.
Yeah.
Coach, I'm a big Garrett Schrader fan. I think he's just a fraction away from really being a dynamic player, consistently great quarterback. Tell me what you like about him, and also, do you like the fact that he was saying it's time for us to take down the rest of the conference? I was looking on the internet, it's buzzing.
I didn't see that one.
he made a bold statement, something like it's time for us to take everybody down.
Okay, yeah, that's because he's not flying back with us. He's going back home to his house. I'm going to catch up with him on August 1st. You know, I think the best thing that happened to Garrett, and not from an injury standpoint, he had an injury. He wasn't allowed to go through spring, and by him doing that, he had to coach. So he almost became a graduate assistant coach, sitting in the quarterback meeting rooms, going to the football field, taking it from the classroom to the football field. Right. Him not being able to practice and then trying to get his peers to duplicate that proficiency that you were asking for. And Coach, you've been around a whole bunch of them. You've been one of them. When you're in that situation and you're asking, you can't figure out why your peers can't do it. And the coach asked you to do it, and then there it is. Why'd you throw that? He just went over that. Don't throw into that coverage. It really, the quarterbacks really take on a different type of growth. And you've seen it. You've been a part of it. I've seen it. If that growth happens, woe be unto thee.
Well, Coach, you guys started probably as hot as anybody in this conference last year. I think 6-0. Went out, competed against Clemson in their stadium, but didn't win that game. What do you think the biggest lesson was for your team moving into 2023 from last year's success?
You know, our biggest thing is we've got to find a way to stay healthy. We've got good players. We've got good enough players to win big games. We've got good enough players to get ranked. It's staying healthy, and we lost 7 starters in the first 6 games. It's not an excuse. It's a fact. I'm a military kid, and that's 7 starters out of 22 before we kicked off the ball at Clemson. And when you lose that many good players, and then you play a team like that, and then you back it up with the other team that we played after that, you can get banged up. And that's exactly what happened. And we had to find a way to recover. Now, I didn't think it was going to take as long, but I'm glad it did. And we got an opportunity to play in the bowl game, which gave a lot of guys a lot of experience. We've lost a lot of guys to the National Football League, Matthew Bergeron, Garrett Williams. We've got some guys that are out there making some change, okay, which is really good. And if we solidify the hippos and the elephants and get our O-line and D-line to operate, then we'll be good. It'll be interesting to see where we end up.
You mentioned staying healthy, and obviously some of the struggles of the ups and downs last year were Garrett. He was trying to play through things when he could. When he couldn't, he was on the sidelines, and that's so tough. But earlier you talked about the continuity of he told us, 5th different coordinator. At least this is a system that he knows and is comfortable with. How excited are you just to see him to be able to continue to grow with some continuity, even though there's a change?
When you really go through his history, there's so much conflict. There's nothing that stayed the same. And that was one of the things in the decisions and I did make, that we really wanted to see if he could, we don't know what he would do if he ever ran the same offense 2 years in a row. We haven't seen it. So we're excited to see where that could take us, and we're excited to see where he can go.
Is there one guy that's been harder to replace than others? You lost a lot of guys to the NFL. Has there been one that you're like, man, we really missed that guy?
Well, yeah, I can't put it. I mean, Sean Tucker was amazing. You know, Matthew Bergeron is the highest draft choice we've had at Syracuse since Justin Pugh. Justin's deciding on the internet whether he's retiring or not retiring from the Cardinals. I mean, and that's not talking about Garrett Williams, who we lost the game after the Clemson game, who was a third-round pick. And he didn't, he played 6-7 games, ACL, and he's a third-round pick, I believe. I mean, we had some really good cats. But, you know, we got some young little brothers that are growing up. They're going to step into some big brothers roles, and we believe that we have enough, but we're going to have to wait and see, and we're going to need August. So by the time you guys come visit us up on that August swing through thing, or with the rest of your company, it'll be good.
August 15th.
There you go, August 15th.
Will I see Stephon out there? Stephon Thompson, will he be out there?
Watch this. I've seen him at practice. He's one of the 7 guys that went down that we're waiting to see how they're going to turn out, and I hope you get a chance to see him, because he's a really, really good player that people don't know about, and we need him to get back to 90% or better of what he was when he got hurt.
I know you have a solid thought process to decide who to bring to these events, and you brought Marlo Wax. We didn't get a chance to talk to him. Well, you guys might have, but I didn't get to. Tell me a little bit about why you decided to bring Marlo.
Marlo is a captain, first of all. We had 2 of the 3 guys are captains. Our 3rd captain, JB, stayed home. We brought Oronde. But Marlo he's a stud. I mean, he's a stud. He's a leader in the locker room. He's a leader on the field. He's physical. And I'll give you a little bit on him. When he came in, now Tucker's going to get mad at me. Him and Tucker came in both as running backs, and literally we were sitting there going, we didn't know who was better. Right. Wow. So now they're different. They're different. Yeah. Okay. Right. Tucker's home run hitter, and Marlo's I'm going to get a single and I'm going to get a double, and it's going to be that way for a long time. But he was just as talented on the other side of the ball. So you're looking at an NFL guy. That's what he is.
Well, another NFL guy is Oronde Gaston in the second, coming up this year. How do you guys offensively plan on creating more mismatches for him? Because he's going to get doubled a lot. Coordinators know he is a dude. And Garrett Schrader likes to throw him the ball. So how do you kind of, not to give away trading secrets, I know you're looking at me. I know you're looking at me like, hold on.
We need to take these off.
Are there ways that you'll create opportunities for him to still get as many touches as he needs to help your offense?
Hey, I'm sitting next to a quarterback. Okay, coach is over there. Watch this. Yeah, he's good, and he's good enough to get double. Right. And we're good enough to find out ways that if you want to double him, good luck to you, because you better know a lot of stuff, because he's going to be in a lot of places.
Put him in the backfield or something too. Go hand it off to him, man.
Well, who else is going to step up? You talked about Isaiah Jones just having a good spring. Who else really needs to step up to kind of take pressure off of him?
I'm not going to say names, but I really believe Isaiah Jones is another guy that we lost. We lost him the Purdue game. He's one of the 7 starters I'm talking about. But the wide receiver unit has really made a drastic improvement. Mike Johnson came in, someone that's coached receivers for a long period of time, and he's really done a really nice job with that group. And we've thinned the ranks. There's not as many of them. But the guys that are on the football field, the guys that have been in practice have been making huge jumps. And that's what we're going to need. We're going to need a lot of other targets out there to keep those guys off of Oronde. And, you know, Oronde is, we're going to be good. We're going to be good in that unit. We just need those young guys to keep doing what they've been doing in practice.
And Coach, doubling down on the young guys, is there anyone that impressed you that made a huge jump this spring? Because that's usually a great time for those younger dudes to get more opportunities, more reps. Is there anyone that impressed you?
I've got names in my head. I'm not going to say the names because of the locker room, but they know exactly who I'm talking about, and you guys are going to get an opportunity to see them. And some of the names you know, but they've just gotten so much better that now they can be a force and somebody that you can go to continuously in a game and get results from it.
Coach, on on a typical day at practice, you got your segment meetings. Are you in a segment meeting? Do you move around? Do you stay in one room?
I didn't hear the first part, Coach. Give it to me again.
When it comes to a normal day of practice,
Yes, sir.
and you have your segment meetings.
Yes.
Do you go in a certain position room, or do you move around? Do you go to any of them at all? I was kind of curious.
Watch, I like to hang out in the quarterback's room a little bit, but outside of that, I move around in rooms. And what I really see, we run, because of our team periods and how we do it, I really get to see a lot of what's going on the football field, which saves me a little time on the back end, unless there's something I want to go back and look at in more detail. But once again, the offensive side, we've been doing it. It's the second year. And to have somebody like Rocky Long on the staff is, you got a second head coach on the other side of the ball. The guy's been a head coach longer than I've been a head coach, okay? And I'm really young.
You're doing good. Always try, Coach.
I was just about to say that.
50 years coaching experience for him, right, Coach Long?
Yes,
Yeah,
he
he's
really
been doing
is.
it for a long time. Before we let you go, we got you all mic'd up and got your IFB in because you were watching what happened before when Brent Key was on and his players were giving us an impression. So we happened to have your quarterback up here with us earlier, spun the wheel. He had a little impression of you that we wanted you to see, so take a look.
He's already.
Come on, Gary, give it to us.
Coach Babers, big character, passionate guy. Whenever he sees someone, either if we're playing hard, he loves effort, big effort guy. So he gets this big lip and his big eyes. He goes, and he starts staring at someone who did nothing to him at all, and he just starts yelling at him.
So you can bring the intensity on the sideline no matter what. If there's something that you see, somebody's going to get the stare.
It's going to be a long argument.
I'm going to get him.
He's in the quarterback meeting room during the season, so
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you what. It's going to be fun. You guys come out and see us. August 15th?
August 15th for the
August
road
15th.
trip.
It's going to be good out there.
We can't wait. Can't wait to see you then. Can't wait to see you when the season starts. Just 37 days away from the start of college football season. Coach Babers, we enjoyed it. Always appreciate the time.
Absolutely.